It is game 2 of 2 here of this Monsignor Martin semifinal doubleheader. We saw St. Francis defeat Bishop Timon St. Jude 35-0, so they will be one of the representatives in the Monsignor Martin championship game. But now we have two more teams vying for their spot in the championship game, and it is one of the best rivalries in Western New York. The St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute Marauders facing off against the Canisius Crusaders. We welcome you inside the broadcast booth here at Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University. Coyer Field, I should mention, this particular field a little more damp than it was for game 1 here of this Monsignor Martin doubleheader. We had the clouds roll in at the conclusion of the last game, and then it rained on and off during the pregame. Got a bit of a heavy downpour, I don't know, about 15, 20 minutes ago, but luckily we have not seen any of the elements that would call for a rain delay, and you know what those elements are. Use your context clues. I'm not going to say them because I don't want to speak it into existence. But anyways, we're here at Coyer Field. I'm Tanner Saunders. I'll be your play-by-play voice. Pleased to be joined on color by Joe Kraus. And Joe, you saw this Canisius team 2 weeks ago where they were somewhat held in check against St. Francis. They lost that game 29-14, but they're looking to have a get-right game here against Canisius. The last time these two teams played, it was September the 27th. I had the luxury of calling that game. Canisius came away victorious 45-28. And although Joe's outgained the Crusaders through the air 224-138, and they had 3 passing touchdowns to 0 for Canisius, the Crusaders outgained the Marauders on the ground by a staggering margin of 439-75. 7 rushing touchdowns for Canisius, none for Joe's. Canisius averaged 13.7 yards per carry as a team. The Marauders just a meager 2.9. And Joe, they're going to have to contend with that again. How do you stop this two-headed monster in the backfield for Canisius? Arguably, if not the best backfield tandem in Western New York. We saw another contender for that in the last game with Dominic Cook Jr. and Tyrone Clark when they're both healthy. But this right here, Elijah Kimball and Amir Hernandez, this Joe's defense going to have a handful with those two today.
Well, Amir had the 4 touchdowns in the first meeting. Elijah had 3. And the St. Joe's defense, when they are able to apply pressure, they do pretty well. They have 14 sacks on the season, including a team high 2.5 from Amuka. But it's going to start with the play of, you're talking about Amuka, and also the play of Dion Cheatham. Just all those guys coming together. Stone Rozak has had a solid year. He was a Monsignor Martin pick 1 year ago. It's going to come down to early in this one who's going to get the advantage on the defensive side of the ball. And St. Joe's, they have the players. Can they just put it together here? And what is going to be an interesting day, as you said, the rain coming in, the wind factor. Anything can go here with a postseason spot on the line ultimately.
And it will be Joe's. They will receive the opening kickoff here. It is teed up and sent deep, and we are underway. It is going to be fielded at about the 6-yard line. Now on the run back, here comes Cameron Chin up to the 20. Now he reverses course. He's going the wrong way, and Cameron Chin gets tossed down inside the 10-yard line. So that will bring out the St. Joe's offense, averaging 26.1 points per game. They were shut out 35-0 in Week 5 by St. Francis, but since then they have averaged 32.7 points per game over the past 3 games, including a season-high 42 in a win against University Prep on October 24th. Looks like they're going to start out with Braden Manns here in the shotgun. He has Owen Kaczynski next to him in the backfield. And Mann's going to hand it off to Kaczynski on first down, and he does not have a lot of room to roam there as he gets taken down around the original line of scrimmage. Might have lost yardage on the play. Either way, it's going to be 2nd down and long.
Braden Manns and Braden Keel in a quarterback competition for the majority of the season. Manns gets the start here, completing 56.1% of his passes, well, with 6 touchdowns and 1 interception. Head coach Mike Crota said early in the season that it was going to be a 1-2 competition. Who would get the hot hand? And with the season on the line, Manns is at quarterback today.
And Mann's looking to throw for the first time today. That one is incomplete. It was jumped and deflected by Elijah Kimball. He was looking for Cameron Chin. And down on the field pregame, I spoke to Coach Corona if he had the intention of playing both Braden Manns and Brandon Keel today, and he said yes, because they are trying to develop both of those guys. They like both of those guys, so we're going to see both of them today. And both of them did play in the first meeting between these two teams. Brandon Keel started the game, and then Manns came in the second half. Now Manns looking to throw once again. He is going deep, and it is incomplete. He was looking for J.O. Strander over the top, but the good coverage by Jason Love brings up fourth down.
You take a look again. Drop back to pass, a tight coverage, a tight window on that pass. Broken up nicely here by the junior Jason Love. And now St. Joe's, after receiving the ball on the opening drive, are in punt formation. You have the man right now for Canisius in the backfield standing on the Joe's 45-yard line at the moment.
And now from in his own end zone, Carter Petrie able to get it away, and it's going to be touched by Xavier Gates Franklin. He lost it. It is scooped up by St. Joe's, and they could take it back here. Elijah Kimball with the chase down at the 20-yard line, doing his best DK Metcalf impression, but a big turnover right there, and now Joe's is going to have it deep in Canisius territory off the special teams debacle there from Xavier Gates Franklin.
Huge play. Let's take a look again. It's then the quick scoop. Looks like by number 8, Charlie Marazzo able to get that scoop. And that's now a flag coming in. This is going to pin back St. Joe's on their own 49-yard line. And what a way to start this off, Tanner. Those are the type of plays that in any game, especially in a postseason game, the special teams coaches talk about it all the time. We have to win the special teams battle. And in that battle, St. Joe's able to get the first punch, and the offense now back on the field.
Talking to Coach Kurzanski down on the field before the game, he emphasized special teams, that they had to be sharp on special teams today. Didn't want to give them any opportunities. He said they had to win that phase of the game, and they're not off to a good start in that department. Now Manns is going to float this one deep. It is tipped and incomplete. Tried to tip it to himself there, unable to do so. And that brings up second down for the Marauders.
St. Joe's going for the deep ball again, this time with Dion Cheatham Jr., 6 foot, 150-pound wide receiver, one-on-one. Dion did all he could to try to keep the possession going, but incomplete. And St. Joe's early on, Tanner, this is the second time that the Marauders have gone for the deep ball.
I was going to point that out. How about the aggressiveness here right off the jump from Braden Manns? He has not been afraid to sling it here, even in the less than optimal conditions. For the passing game, he's going to do it again. Looking for Cheatham. It's incomplete. Xavier Gates Franklin in coverage, able to recover and break that one up. So slightly a touchdown for the muff there on the punt.
Xavier, only a sophomore, going toe-to-toe with Cheatham again, as this is ruled incomplete. St. Joe's going towards the middle of the zone that time.
Now brings up third down and long. The Marauders still this opening possession of the game for them. They were unable to convert their first third down attempt of the game. 3 receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end. Here's the snap. Manns, the drop, setting a screen. It's caught by Owen Kaczynski. Now Kaczynski turns up the field. He's got a convoy, and he's got a first down.
And that's how Owen Kaczynski has made his worth here for St. Joe's the last couple years. Gets the help on the screen and finds some open daylight. Those types of plays, part of the bag of tricks in Mike Corona's toolbox, if you will, able to keep it going. And that's how St. Joe's has thrived here to get to this point this season.
And you've got a man down for the Crusaders, laid out on his backside around the 35-yard line. So you can't quite tell who it is. It will be first down here for Joe. Kaczynski able to convert on a screen pass. Coming into this game, Kaczynski, the junior, 900 all-purpose yards, 9 touchdowns. And for Canisius, unfortunate to see a man down here. And I talked to Coach K down on the field before the game, and one thing he said that is different about this game compared to last is that they are without 9 players that played in that last game here today, including 5 starters, and for various reasons, for injury, suspension, academic probation. So they are a little bit short-handed here today, and the injured Crusader is able to get up and jog off to the sideline under his own power. That is the freshman, Terrence Shrewford Jr., who they like a lot.
Yeah, Terrence has done a great job as a freshman. Had a couple of big plays in week 1 against Scranton Prep, and then against St. Francis 2 weeks ago. And the big loss on the defensive side is Coach Krasinski will tell you also the injury to Arnold Mabayo. He was Canisius' leading tackler. Quentin Littleton is now the team's leading tackler, but Arno just did everything for the defense, and the defense is going to have to try to get some stops here.
And Braden Manns lost it. That ball is on the ground, but it looks like it is recovered there by Owen Kaczynski. So crisis averted for St. Joe's, and that's another key to this game that Coach K mentioned to me when I talked to him down on the field before the game. It was obviously the weather is going to play a factor, and who can handle that better? Who can weather that storm, no pun intended. So 2nd down and 11 after the mishandled exchange there. Here is Manns. It's going to be a little jet touch pass to Cameron Chin, and there he is. Joe, you just mentioned his name. Quentin Littleton gets in the backfield.
You're going to see a look again on your screen. Quentin Littleton just popping right through the open space. The offensive line can't let him get out to the open space, and Littleton 4 sacks as well on the season, just stepping up with the injury to Mabayo, showing that flash, and only a sophomore. A lot of underclassmen on both sides of the ball, filling in those pieces for Canisius after graduating so many last year.
I asked Coach K about Littleton before the game. I'll get into that more later because you look at the box score, he's been a tackle machine this year. He had a 20-tackle game earlier this year, 19-tackle game. He has been all over that defense. This pass is complete over to the far sideline. Looks like that is Jay Ostrander on the reception, but he is going to be well short of a first down.
Just a little short dump down to Ostrander, and Canisius was ready. Jason Love was right there to force him to the far sideline, and now St. Joe's are going to be facing 4th down here with the punt unit back out.
And Carter Petrie is out to punt it. And again, back deep for Canisius is Xavier Gates Franklin. He gave them a new lease on life here this opening possession after he muffed a punt last time around. This one, Petrie able to get it away, and this time it is going to take a bounce and going to be downed at the 10-yard line by Joe's. So we will see this Canisius offense out on the field here for their first possession of the day. Canisius comes into this game averaging 33.6 points per game. They were shut out in week 3 by Walsh Jesuit, but since then they have averaged 40 points per game, including scoring over 35 times, 4 of those 5 times over 40, and 1 of those 4 being a season-high 56 in a week 5 victory over Bishop Timon St. Jude 56-7. Here's the snap. It is going to be a handoff to Elijah Kimball, and Kimball gets a short gain on first down, brings up 2nd down. And speaking with Coach Corona down on the field before the game, I asked him, you know, they ran roughshod against you the first time around, so how can you do a better job of pinning them down in this one? Because you can't totally stop or neutralize this run game. Just Elijah Kimball and Amir Hernandez are too good, but how can you do a better job pinning them down? And he said it's not that complicated. You look in the first half of the last time these two teams played, guys were constantly out of position, so really it's just a matter of occupying a space and, you know, maintaining your gap. Here's a direct snap to Amir Hernandez, and that time the defense does a good job of occupying space as Hernandez is driven back there to make it 3rd down.
And that's what St. Joe's is going to look to do here today, just as you mentioned, Tanner, just about stacking the box, getting as many bodies as possible close to the line of scrimmage and limiting what Kimball and Hernandez can do, getting to the outside. If you can hold Elijah Kimball, he picked up 5 yards on his last carry, and then Amir with 2. If you can limit those types of home run plays that we've seen all year, the highlight reel carries that those two have had, this is going to be a close game. And that's probably the homework that St. Joe's wanted to do, was containing the line up front.
Now 3rd down and short. Mateo Brusco, the tried and true signal caller in there. He pulls it out and throws, and he completes the play action fake. He finds Connor Gain, the big tight end, for a first down. First of the day for the Crusaders.
Connor Gain, 6'3", 220 pounds. He has been a security blanket all season, making just his 6th catch of the year, 2 touchdown catches, and right there in the slot, able to find the open space, and Canisius able to get the first down.
From the 30-yard line now, their own 30-yard line, fresh set of downs. As they condense in here on the formation, Mateo Brusco takes the snap. Here's the give to Kimball, and he picks up a short gain there, maybe a yard or 2 on first down. Elijah, the last time these two teams played, 12 carries, 254 yards, which is the most yards he's had in a game against Joe's in his career, and 3 touchdowns. And he also broke Quadri Olison's record for the most rushing yards in a career at Canisius. And now he gets the call here on 2nd down, trying to dance around, but he gets taken down by David Amuka to bring up 3rd down and long.
David Amuka, one of the linebackers that Coach Crow spoke highly of all season. As you can see, he was there able to get through the open spot. And, Elijah Kimball, he's certainly one of the best, only in his junior campaign, still a year to go. And, he's now 26 yards away from passing Cleveland Hills' Aaron Waller for 8th all-time in Western New York rushing history. Western New York football, the all-time rushing category. Kimball is, like we said, 26 away.
3rd down, Brusco, give to Hernandez. He runs off tackle, and he's got a first down. And Hernandez, tight roping that far sideline, eventually is pushed out of bounds. They say at the 40-yard line, but that is going to be good for a Crusader first down.
And that is what Amir Hernandez does well. He's a linebacker as well, so you're trying to stop a linebacker in transition. He's able to pop to the outside and get a big run, and Canisius, that 1-2 punch. Kimball with the speed. Hernandez able to lower the shoulder and get that punch at the outside. That's why they've had the 1-2 tandem that ourselves have said already, and everyone has said here in Western New York about those two.
First down and 10. Jason Love in motion. They fake it to him. Now the give goes to Kimball. And he goes leaping over a pile of bodies right there to pick up about 3 yards on the play. And talking about Amir Hernandez, Kimball, he had a pretty good game the last time these two teams met, as did Amir Hernandez. 11 carries, 148 yards, 4 touchdowns. He did lose a fumble in that game, which was returned for a touchdown, but still, 148, the most rushing yards he's had in a game against Joe's. And now Kimball gets the direct snap, and he'll pick up about 3 more to make it 3rd down. But going back to Amir Hernandez, the last time these two teams met, 148 yards, most he's ever had in a game against Joe's, and 4 touchdowns, most he's had against Joe's in a single game and in his career.
There's always that extra notch. Of course, you want to be ready for every single game, but when you take on your rival, it just adds to the adrenaline. And Elijah certainly had a lot of big games here against the Marauders.
3rd down and short. Jason Love in motion. They fake it to him. Brusco drops back to throw. He is under pressure, and Mateo just has to hurl this one to the far side of the field. It is caught by Jason Love, and Jason Love turns it up the field and is able to pick up a Canisius first down.
What a play from Canisius to keep this drive going. Let's take a look again. It is so hard when you have to turn back and throw on the opposite side, and Love was right there to make the catch down the sideline, and that's been part of the growth of Mateo Brusco, able to take the reins here this season for the Canisius offense at quarterback. He's closing in on 1,000 yards passing and those types of plays. It's part of the growth that Craig Kruzanski was excited about going through the course of the year.
So first down and 10 from the 29-yard line. Here's a give to Kimball, and they have him. Now they finally wrangle him down. It looked like he might be able to slip out of an ankle tackle there, but good job by the rest of the Marauder defense rallying to the football. Sets up second down.
And Andrew Rose, number 40 on your screen, was the first defender for St. Joe's, able to rush on the outside. Head coach Mike Corona, he's confident in his front seven all season, getting the stops. They went toe-to-toe with Cardinal Hayes all the way back in week 1. And making those stops in the trenches, that's, again, going to be the key here for St. Joe's.
Flag comes down. And it is against the offense, so that'll set him back behind the sticks here for this second down play. Certainly that's unfamiliar territory for Canisius. When you have a run game like this, they don't play from behind the sticks often. That is the first Crusader penalty of the day. It's now second down. Here's a direct snap to Amir Hernandez, and Hernandez going to be enveloped there and stopped after about a gain of 2. So third down and long upcoming for the Crusaders. 2 for 2 so far on third down on this drive.
And that's been one of the specialties that we saw earlier this season, especially week 1. Myself, Rick Tom were there for the home opener against Scranton Prep, just converting those third downs, especially, well, this will be third and long, but if you can make it third and manageable and get those big running plays, that's been the big key, one of the ingredients for Canisius all year.
A timeout was called by Canisius. And, Joe, I just want to go back to something you said earlier. Third down and long, you're probably going to see a Mateo Brusco pass here, at least I would imagine. And you mentioned the growth of Mateo Brusco, and that's something I noticed when I was prepping for this game during the week. Last week wasn't his best performance. He went 4 for 13, 32 yards, 2 interceptions. But the 2 games before that, he was playing fantastic. You look at the 2 games before last week, he was 16 of 23, which is almost 70% completion percentage, 289 yards, 6 touchdowns, also had 5 carries for 10 yards and a rushing touchdown. He had not thrown an interception in the 3 games prior to last week. So when you talk about the growth of Mateo Brusco, you saw it in that stretch of the season.
In those 2 contests before last time against St. Francis were teams from Ontario, Huron Heights and St. Andrews, 2 big teams. And yes, Mateo thrived, and that's what Canisius is looking for out of their senior quarterback late in the season, just building off those performances, and he certainly has a nice cannon.
And here's a little trickery. They're going to throw it. Gates Franklin looking deep for Cullinan. It's over the head of everyone and incomplete. They broke that play out in the regular season meeting between these two teams as well. I believe it was their either first or second offensive play in that game. They ran a very similar play where they pitched it to Gates Franklin, and then he threw it deep to Cullinan, who was open in that regular season meeting just off his fingertips. But that time, Cullinan didn't have a chance at it. But going back to Mateo Brusco, that is correct. The 2 games prior to last week against St. Francis were against 2 Canadian teams. Is it any coincidence that the Vaughan, Ontario native had his 2 best games of the year against teams from Canada? I think not. But anyway, it's fourth down, and the offense is going to stay out on the field here. That was the first unsuccessful third down attempt of the day for Canisius. He got movement up front. And it is going to be against the defense, so this will make it much shorter of a fourth down here. Give them 5 yards and
it
make it about 4th and 8.
Sorry, Terry, just looked like some movement up front. Either Peyton Kieran or Wyatt Jarla moved, and now this sets up 4th and manageable for Canisius.
And now you've got movement from the offense, so we'll be right back where we started. The team's trading penalties here on this fourth down. So back to 4th and 13 we go. Again, another fast-moving first quarter, much like the St. Francis Bishop Timon St. Jude game earlier. Not a lot of stoppages here in this first quarter, whether it be penalties, incompletions, flying by here. as Canisius, this is still their first possession of the game. And trying to keep it alive here, but got a lot of work to do on this 4th down and 13. As Brusco directing traffic. They'll go 5 wide, and another flag comes down. This time it's going to be delay of game. So the Crusaders just keep on backing up here.
And after what was a moment ago, 4th and 8, this will now bring up 4th and long. Maybe some jitters in this type of game. You're trying to extend your season, get to face St. Francis next week. Whoever wins today, the championship, and it's a field you're not entirely familiar with. You only play here a couple times a year here at Buffalo State, but let's see what they can do here.
4th and 18, they're still going to go. Here is Brusco stepping up in the pocket. Now heaving it deep near side. Cullinan incomplete.
Great coverage from Cameron Chin on the near sideline from St. Joe's, and that'll result in a turnover on downs. As you can see, Brusco going for the deep ball, and Canisius just can't convert. And both teams now with 1 possession today and still no points on the scoreboard.
So a nice exercise in bend but don't break there for the Marauders defense. And now the offense back out on the field here. 1st down and 10 from their own 37. There's a little jump, and now they got him. Looks like Oliveira there jumped off, Gabriel Oliveira, so that'll be a free 5 yards to start the drive for Joe's.
You just tell at the last second as he was starting to creep over the line of scrimmage. He was trying to pull himself back, but the damage was already done.
So 1st down and 5. Here is Mans. The handoff goes to Owen Kaczynski. And he had nowhere to run there. Nice job penetrating and getting into the backfield there from Owen Scott, the junior. Coming into this game, had 13 total tackles and a TFL. Looks like no gain on that play, so it remains 5 to go here on 2nd down. 3 receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end. That being Stone Rozak. Play fake Kaczynski. Braden Mans loading up, going deep, looking for Chin. It's intercept. No, he did not survive the ground. Xavier Gates Franklin there nearly came away with that one.
Let's take a look again. Deep throw to the near sideline, and it just came out. The football did out of Gates Franklin's hands as St. Joe's thought they had a shot. It looked good from up here on the near sideline, but Xavier making the last grab, and now just like that, 2 quick plays, and now 3rd and 5 coming up for Joe's.
And Braden Mans has not been bashful about slinging the rock. He has taken numerous deep shots here in this 1st quarter. And now he's going to give it to Owen Kaczynski, and Kaczynski gets up past the 45. It looks like where they're running in to spot it, he is going to be inches short of the line to gain.
Well, you can see once again just the hard running from Owen Kaczynski, just that speed, able to get the 1st down here for St. Joe's. And he's just been one of the guys that head coach Mike Corona has relied upon all season. And doesn't matter where they put Owen on the field, whether in the backfield or on the outside, St. Joe's is confident that Owen is going to make a play, have the effort to make a play, and right there, it's able to extend this drive.
Owen made a play there, indeed. It looked like they had him short, but the second effort was enough to net him the 1st down. He remains in the backfield here to start this fresh set of downs. Here's Mans, takes a shotgun snap, hits his back foot, and fires over the middle. It's a quick completion to Stone Rozak, and then he gets driven back, but he'll have a modest gain for the 1st down with forward progress.
Stone Rozak, St. Joe's tight end, 6'3", 225 pounds, able to make the catch, but it took a number of players to bring Stone down, and able to keep that going. Rozak, one of those top targets for St. Joe's, able to keep it going. What a first quarter here we've had here, Tanner.
No doubt about it. And that's it. That's the end of the first quarter. Time flies when you're having fun, eh? We'll make the switch to the second. Be back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back to Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University. Game 2 of 2 here of the Monsignor Martin semifinals. St. Francis awaits the winner of this game here between the Canisius Crusaders and the St. Joseph's Marauders. Each team with one possession in that first quarter, unable to put any points on the board, and after getting a fourth down stop, now Joe's driving here in Canisius territory. They'll have it 2nd down and 4 to start off the quarter. And they go 3 receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end, that being Stone Rozak, who just made the 6-yard grab. Now goes in motion here over to the left side of the offensive formation. Braden Mans keeps it himself, and he has got room to roam. Braden Mans down the near sideline, and he gets hammered out of bounds there by Elijah Kimball, but not before he shows off the speed there and picks up a first down and then some for the Marauders.
Yeah, Braden Mans just able to cause the entire Canisius defense to slide towards the right. Mans has the open space down the near sideline, and that is what Mans has been able to do at times this season for Joe's. Able to use his legs and extend the drive. A great run up to the Canisius 21.
And oftentimes, Coach will talk about offensive linemen finishing their block. Peyton Chiron did that on that play, number 71. He put a Crusader on their backside. Now Mans puts this one up for grabs, and that one is going to be intercepted by Xavier Gates Franklin, and they're going to say down at the 1-yard line. Almost had one near the end of the first, but that time, no doubt about it, he secures that one.
Yeah, once again, that same type of play to the outside. Was looking for Cameron Chin. This time, the pass, it's too short, and Xavier Gates Franklin able to record the interception. And St. Joe's, they were driving, as we have said here, Tanner, but instead it'll result here in Canisius' 9th interception of the season.
Now I think we can say Xavier Gates Franklin has fully atoned for his special teams mistake in the first quarter. But Canisius certainly not out of the woods here. They'll have to take this snap from the 1-yard line. Kimball motions out of the backfield. Brusco going to hand it to the up back there, and he will get him some breathing room at least. That is big Javez Caldwell. He had to carry the last time these two teams played in the regular season.
Well, Javez Caldwell, one of the offensive linemen that Craig Krasanski has spoken highly about in every interview, every conversation that I've had. And, you know, he said that Javez has been a very special addition, a special player on that offensive line. As you can just see from up here, Tanner, just the size of the lineman overall for Canisius. And Javez has definitely been a big part of that success.
Yeah, they got some big guys down there. Brock Bildfeld, Javez Caldwell. There are some massive humans on that offensive line. Here's a direct snap to Amir Hernandez, and Hernandez fighting ahead. He gets taken down at about the 10-yard line. Stone Rozak was in there among others, and that'll get him plenty of breathing room here, but it'll still be 3rd down and short.
Canisius up to the line of scrimmage rather quickly, but now a timeout coming in.
Yeah, timeout taken there, I believe, by Joe's, as Chiron was trying to get off the field there and prevent a 12-men penalty. So we'll take a timeout as well. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading
Back here at top of the second quarter, third down and short for the Crusaders. Mateo Brusco with the handoff. And being driven back there is Kimball. But he got the necessary yardage for a
just a big pylon. And St. Joe's able to slow down Kimball this time. Such a heated rivalry going back to 1921, the 104th meeting. Canisius has won 22 of the last 23. And actually, they didn't even have the rivalry from 1932 to 47. It was so heated that they decided to cancel it.
direct snap to Kimball, and he is going to be pushed back. Boy, we made a big deal about it in the pregame. How was Joe's going to bottle up this rush game? And for the most part, they have here in the early going of this one. Now, plenty of time. Now the question becomes, can you sustain this for 48 minutes? But so far, they have been really solid stopping this run game. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Here's the snap. Brusco fires quick. That is incomplete. He was looking for Quentin Littleton, but clearly those two not on the same page. It's going to be 3rd down.
Looked like Joe's was able to apply some pressure, causing the throw to be a little bit quicker than what Brusco was anticipating in terms of the timing. And now it comes up to another 3rd and long scenario, Tanner. 3rd and 9 for the Crusaders to work with.
They have been efficient on 3rd down, 3 for 4 so far today. One of those conversions came through the air for Brusco. And now, looks like a timeout is going to be spent by Canisius. That's their 2nd of the half. They'll have to navigate the remaining 9 minutes and 30 seconds here with only one timeout. Quentin Littleton, the intended target on that last play. And, Joe, I alluded to this earlier, but I asked Coach K about Quentin Littleton because you take a look at some of the box scores. He has been a tackle machine this year. He had a 20-tackle game, 19-tackle game earlier this year, and Coach K had a lot of nice things to say about him. He's a guy that transferred in and, dealt a little bit with injury, so he was a little bit behind to start the season physically and then had to get there mentally as well. But ever since about week four, he said he has been tremendous. And you can tell when Quentin Littleton's on the field, you can tell when he's involved in a play just by looking at his helmet. Coach K said he's been in on so many tackles, hit so many guys, that the paint on the front of his helmet is chipped off. So if you see a helmet on the field with some yellow poking through in the front, it's Quentin Littleton. Here's the snap to Hernandez. On 3rd down, it's going to be an option. They pitch it to Kimball, and Kimball got to the marker, and did he lose it?
Let's take a look again. But another big run, and going back, Tanner, with Coach K, he's been around Western New York football for so long, 31 years, had a big run at Waynesville South, and with the players like Quentin Littleton, an underclassman, only a sophomore, and filling in that hole that with the injury to Arno Mabayo, and just able to put the right guys with the right talent in the right spot, and that has certainly been what Littleton and so many guys in the Crusaders roster have done this season.
Looks like there was a penalty against Canisius. I never saw a flag come out, but evidently one did, and they are going to be backed up here inside the 10-yard line behind the sticks. It's going to be 3rd down and long. And Mateo Brusco going to check back in here. Third down and long upcoming for Canisius. As I mentioned, 3 for 4 so far on third down today. Here's the snap. Brusco, he's going to fire this one incomplete at the far sideline. Looking for Jack Cullinan on the out-breaking route there. Unable to hook up. Fourth down and long, and Canisius shall punt.
Jack Cullinan, a name we have not said so far tonight. 13 catches, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns on the season. Canisius tried to get to him early in this contest, but instead they are in punt formation.
Doing a number of Canisius basketball games over the years, I called his brother Patrick's name many a times. Here's the punt. And it's going to be a short one. It goes out of bounds over by the Canisius sideline around the 25-yard line. So a very short field here that will favor Joe's as their offense retakes the field.
So,
sorry, Joe, they were able to get down deep last possession, only to have that drive cut short by an interception by Xavier Gates Franklin. But a chance to turn the tide here.
So both teams early on had chances to capitalize off turnovers, but they could not. Canisius with a turnover on downs and then a punt. St. Joe's, the fumble recovery, then still had to punt, and then an interception. Both teams still trying to score here, Tanner.
Play fake, Mans throws. It's caught by Stone Rozak, and Rozak dragging defenders into the end zone. He is in for the touchdown. One play, 25-yard strike, Stone Rozak. And Joe's takes the lead.
Once again, going with the mismatch over the middle. Rozak getting the catch and taking one man with him. Good vision here from Mans as well. And St. Joe's strikes first here in the big rivalry game.
That's a big-time play right there for Coach Corona's group. As now for the PAT, Carter Petrie bangs it through. It is 7-0 with 9:03 left in the first half. We'll take a timeout. We'll see how Canisius responds after this on Western New York Athletics.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can link me later.
WNYAthletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Welcome back here to Coyer Field. If you're just joining us, St. Joe's has taken the lead here early in the second quarter, 7-0, a 25-yard touchdown from Braden Mans to Stone Rozak. And Joe, here's a stat for you. So with that catch, that's Stone Rozak's first touchdown of the season. It's the 4th of his career and now 3rd against Canisius. He had 2 receiving touchdowns last year in the semifinal matchup, or excuse me, in the Monsignor Martin finals, that is, against Canisius. So I don't know what it is about these games, but they always bring out the best in Stone Rozak, these postseason games against Canisius.
Well, head coach Mike Corona said that by far Stone is our most mature person on the field. He's a coach's son. His dad is the offensive line here, just brings a lot of toughness, hits like an absolute truck, and able to make those big catches like we saw. And St. Joe's, their best drive of the night here on offense, able to capitalize, and now Canisius having to play a little bit from behind.
Kimball with a 7-yard carry on first down to bring up second down and short. It was Canisius who got off to the early lead in the regular season meeting between these two teams. In that game, Joe's first possession resulted in a 3-and-out, and then on the ensuing possession for Canisius, Elijah Kimball had a long touchdown run to give them a lead that they would never relinquish. But now the tables have turned. They lead this one 7-0 here. as it is second down and short. Mateo Brusco sends Amir Hernandez in motion. They give it to him on the jet sweep. Running far side, he's got the first down.
Hernandez once again showing that speed, getting to the outside. Another good run for Canisius. The offensive line, as I mentioned, one of the strengths for the Crusaders all year, winning the trenches on that big play, and now going to be a second down run here at the 36, at the 36.
In the last 3 games, Joe, Amir Hernandez has 393 rushing yards, 16 receiving. That comes out to 409 all-purpose yards and 5 touchdowns, all rushing. In the first 27 games of his career, he only had 2 games of over 100 rushing yards. He has, as the give on first down goes to Kimball, and he gets stacked up. But as I was saying, first 27 games of the career of Amir Hernandez, only 2 games rushing for over 100 yards. He's gone over 100 rushing yards in each of his last 3 games. So Elijah Kimball gets a lot of praise heaped upon him, as he should. But Amir Hernandez is no slouch in his own right. I mean, they have 2 number 1 backs, simply put.
Yeah, Amir Hernandez has just done a terrific job here, just stepping up, finding those opportunities, really has just developed here since week 1, taking the next step in his game and just being a powerful rusher.
Brusco looking to throw, fires quick. That is caught by Jack Cullinan, and he's wrapped up just short of the first down marker. About a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1.
So with the rain now coming back here to Collier Field, Canisius quickly getting the ball out. Now 3rd and short. Everyone at the line of scrimmage, but now a timeout called.
And this time Joe's calls the timeout. We know Canisius down to 1 timeout. And Joe's spends one here. So we'll take a timeout as well. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
Or an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs. More information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Explore your next idea. Blaze new trails. Imagine new ways to do things. What will you do next?
Third down and 1 here as we rejoin the action. That ball is loose.
Quick recovery from Brusco. These games aren't for the faint of heart, Tanner, as
No doubt.
Brusco was able to quickly get up. We mentioned about the rain. Maybe there was, again, the snappage between him and Gabe Oliveira at center. Gabe has had a stellar year on the offensive line. But as we mentioned, the weather could be a factor here in this one. It's coming down, not phasing the crowd at all. A great crowd here for this one. But let's see now, 4th and 2.
As always, these games never fail to produce memorable crowds. It is 4th down and 2. Amir Hernandez is the Wildcat quarterback. He takes the direct snap, and Hernandez is not going to get there. Big Stone, Rozak, Peyton, Kieran in there, and that puts an end to that drive for the Crusaders. What a stop by the defense.
I think the word is big, as you can see Peyton Kieran right on your screen, 6 foot, 263 pounds. He is the first there to apply the hit. Rozak in there as well. A much-needed hit, a big stop, and all the momentum now, Tanner, on St. Joe's side. Big turnover on downs.
So now Joe's starts out in Canisius territory, and they have a chance to make this a 2-possession game. Here's the first down play. It's going to be a give to Owen Kaczynski, and he is wrapped up after a short gain. Richard Posey in there to make the stop.
You can see St. Joe's winding down the clock A little bit now, under 6 minutes left, making their way up to the line of scrimmage.
And that's part of the strategy that comes into play here. Obviously, you want to score, but you want to leave this potent offense as little time as possible to potentially answer. Here's Braden Manns looking. Now he's going to tuck it and run. No, he's going to throw deep down the middle. It is incomplete. Over the head of the intended target there. Looks like it was Cameron Chin who was double covered. So that brings up 3rd down for the Marauders offense. Cameron Chin had 2 touchdowns the last time these two teams met in the regular season, 2 receiving touchdowns. Believe from 28 yards out and 1 yard out, respectively. Now empty backfield on 3rd down. Man's looking. Here comes the pressure from Javez Caldwell. Forces him to roll left, and now he is going to be escorted out of bounds along the Canisius sideline by Caden Wayne. So that brings up 4th down.
Caden Wayne, that's a name we have not talked about yet, coming into tonight's 2nd on the team in tackles, as Manns is trying to get to the outside, guarded nicely along the width of the field here. And now another 4th down play coming up here for Joes.
And they will keep the offense out on the field here. 4th down, trying to get him to jump with the hard count, unable to do so. There's a little flinch up front, but able to stay onside there was the defensive line for Canisius. Now here's the snap. Manns looking to throw. And again, Caldwell forces him to roll left. He's going to tuck it, and he's got the 1st down with ease. Braden Manns. He's gashed him a couple times with the legs here in the first half. Does it again right there and keeps this drive alive.
So you could see the vision as all the receivers, St. Joe's had 3 men down. They were guarded tightly by Canisius. Big bang boom, and Manns gets to the outside to keep the chains moving. Great vision here from Manns, using his legs once again, and it's another fresh set of downs, Tanner. How does Canisius try to stop Braden Manns on the outside? They really haven't been able to solve that problem yet, and it's worked out in the favor of St. Joe's.
It looks like they're playing man coverage down the field in Canisius, and that's always the risk you run when you play man coverage. Obviously, you're looking at your guy, and you have your back turned to the quarterback, so maybe if you're Coach K, you think about employing a little more zone coverage where you can keep eyes on the quarterback in those scramble situations. And I'm not sure why it's taken so long to get the sticks moved here.
I think the sticks were the wrong way for some reason.
Maybe a problem with the sticks on the field, but looks like everything is set here to resume play.
That's strange, but they got that sorted out, no less. Either way, it's going to be a fresh set of downs here for St. Joe's. Here's the snap. Braden Manns going to fire quickly. That one is incomplete through the hands of J.O. Strander.
Looks like Ostrander just took his eyes off the ball at the last second and was trying to make a move upfield. But on to the next play here. Good position here for Joe. 2nd down. Getting close to that red zone again.
From their own 34, or excuse me, from the Crusader 34-yard line. 3 receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end. Deep drop for Mann, setting up a screen. It's Owen Kaczynski. Here goes Kaczynski, spinning inside the 30-yard line before he is taken down. So it'll make it a much shorter 3rd down. As Owen Kaczynski, he had a pretty big catch and run in the first quarter on a similar screen play.
And that's what Kaczynski has done throughout his career for St. Joe's. Coach Corona said that he is a Ivy League type of player and type of student, has that high IQ, just able to bring a lot to the St. Joe's team once again this year.
Again, 3 receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end. Flag down. False start against Joe's, so it'll be about 3rd down and 10. As we're under 4.5 minutes to play in this first half. That'll set them back to their own 34. Again, the Crusader 34. Here's the snap. Mann's going to pull it out. Now he throws it to the flat. It's caught by Stone Rozak. Gets a block, and he's going to turn it upfield. Stone Rozak is thrown out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. There is a flag in the offensive backfield. And it's going to be a hold against the Marauders.
Yeah, let's take a look again. You can see the hold on the outside of your screen. Rozak, though, with a good run, but this is going to come back.
Unfortunate break there for Joe's. Penalty wiping away what would have been a first down. That's their 3rd penalty of the day. He's going to put them behind the chains here. As the rain continuing to come down here at Coyer Field. 3rd down and long. Braden Mann's in the empty shotgun. He takes the snap, 3-step drop. Now he's going to fire this one deep, looking for J.O. Strander. It's over his head and incomplete. Had a step on the nearest defender, but Mann's with a little too much mustard on that one. It's going to be 4th down. And that will bring out Carter Petrie and the punting unit.
That holding penalty really derailed what St. Joe's was doing offensively on that drive. Now having to punt, but still a solid day for St. Joe's so far in the office. Canisius getting a big stop on defense. Let's see what we can do here on this punt.
Petrie gets this one off, and Xavier Gates Franklin is going to let it go. It's going to take a couple hops. And now it is down at about the 2-yard line. So again, the 2nd time where Canisius has had a drive start right on their own goal line.
Another solid special teams play from St. Joe's. Of course, the one at the beginning of the game. Charlie Marazzo with the fumble recovery on the punt. And then Carter Petrie with another nice boot. He had a couple of nice kicks. Week 2 against Jamestown. Big win over the red and green, who just finished as the Section 6 Class AA runners-up last night. Big play, and now Canisius, do you go with the run game? Do you try to spread it out? You have your man Kimball in the backfield.
Looks like they spot this one at the 1-yard line. The give goes to Kimball. They go with a shotgun run, and he will gain about a yard there, 2 yards. So we'll give him a bit of more breathing room here for this 2nd down. Elijah Kimball, of course, has received boundless offers from D1 football programs across the country, including some of the programs that you know and love: Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Washington, among many others. Has almost 40 different offers to play collegiate football. And here is a direct snap. Hernandez nearly squirted through that hole there. And it looked like he might have been off to the races, but the tackle is made, and it'll be 3rd down.
Big 3rd down play here. Tanner Canisius trying to get something going offensively. 4th drive, 2 turnover on downs and a punt.
And it's going to be a keeper for Kimball. They had him and Hernandez in the backfield. He's going to throw a couple stiff arms, and he gets up the sideline. 1st down for Elijah Kimball.
And that's why Elijah Kimball has received so many offers here. Able to quickly get to the outside and get the good run. Great vision, always at yards per carry, coming in 9.5 yards per carry ahead of tonight's matchup. And that's what the Crusaders are likely going to be dipping into the well here in the 2nd half. Just keep on going with those types of runs.
2.5 minutes left here in this first half. Joe's leading 7-0 here, but CANISIUS hoping to tie this thing up here before we head into the locker room for intermission. As now they get the ball spotted in the correct place here. And again, they're going to stick with Kimball as the Wildcat quarterback, joined in the backfield by Amir Hernandez. And Hernandez takes the direct snap and runs in to a wall of Marauders and gets driven back there. And boy, Joe, that really puts the defense in a bind when you have those two running backs out there at the same time. Because when you have your traditional quarterback out there, really it's only 10 guys at that point you have to worry about. But when you have Kimball and Hernandez in the backfield at the same time, that's every guy you have to account for offensively.
It's such a two-headed monster. You never know who is going to get the ball, and just their ability to quickly make their way upfield. That's why they've been a really solid 1-2 punch all season.
Now Mateo Brusco comes back in the game, and they will throw. He fires far side. It is caught by Jack Cullinan, and he gets ridden out of bounds there, but it looks like he's got enough for a Crusader first down. Nice little pitch and catch there from Brusco to Cullinan. They missed on a throw similar to that earlier in the game, but now they've gone back to it a couple times and hit on it a couple times.
And that's been the key for CANISIUS this season on offense, just seeing them now the third time this season. There's so much balance, right? You have Hernandez and Kimball in the backfield, and then quietly, when you think of your defense, CANISIUS is going to hand the ball off again. Boom, Brusco able to find a man like Jack Cullinan on the outside to get the next first down.
And Cullinan able to get out of bounds. Now Connor Gain goes in motion to the right side of the offensive formation. Here's the snap. Give to Kimball. He's going to try off tackle, and he'll pick up about 3 yards there on first down. And again, good job getting out of bounds there, stopping that clock at 1:40. Second down and 7. Brusco shotgun. Give to Kimball. Up the middle, and here he goes, bouncing this one to the near side. Kimball turns on the Jets. Kimball staying in bounds, and Elijah Kimball now inside the 20 to the 15. Finally ridden out of bounds around the 10-yard line. Joe, I had alluded to it, and now flags are coming in after the play for some extracurricular activity. As we get another look at the replay there, big run, and now Kimball still a little slow to get up. He's down on his knees here along the near sideline. And as I was beginning to say, Joe, I alluded to it earlier, but they've done a good job of bottling up this run game. We hadn't seen a lot of big chunks. We hadn't seen that signature Elijah Kimball run that he seems to have every game. And that time there it was. And now he is paying the price for it. He is down and being tended to on this near sideline by the CANISIUS training staff. So while they tend to Kimball, we'll step aside here. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously
back here at Coyer Field, and the Crusader fandom holding their collective breaths as Elijah Kimball shaken up on that last play. He was able to walk off the field under his own power, so now it is going to be First down and 10 here from the 12-yard line. Mateo Brusco in the shotgun. Amir Hernandez in motion. He gets it on the jet sweep. He's got Gain and Schufert out front blocking for him. Turns the corner, and Amir Hernandez is in for the touchdown. 12-yard rushing touchdown for Amir Hernandez, and we can tie this thing up with a PAT.
Just great blocking from the outside. Gain and Schufert doing everything they need to do to keep this cohesive 11-man unit going. After watching their teammate go down, Hernandez says, "I got you, bro," and I put it in for the touchdown, 12-yard score. And we got the extra point, and this game is flipped on its head once again.
Here is Max Barr on to attempt the PAT. Snap down, kick is up, and it's good. 1:19 left in the first half, and we have a tie ball game. Back after this for the remainder of this first half here on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back here to Courier Field. Late stages of the first half. If you're just joining us, Amir Hernandez has just tied things up with a 12-yard rushing touchdown, and Canisius has tied it up with a PAT. 7-7 here as the ball blows off the tee. So while they get that reset, Joe, football, not the only postseason going on right now in the Monsignor Martin Athletic Association.
That's right. A big congratulations to St. Mary's Girls Soccer. You are the New York State Catholic High School champions. A big win over St. Anthony's this morning over at Canisius University. You can watch the encore of that victory right now on our YouTube page, WNYAthletics.com. Congrats to the Lancers.
There goes Cameron Chin, fields that one and is taken down at the 25-yard line. So minute 14 for Joes to try and make something happen here offensively. And it looks like Braden Mans is not out there. It doesn't look like. They're going to go with the Wildcat quarterback, Owen Kosinski, and he's going to hand it off on first down. And it'll be a short gain, maybe a 1-yard gain on the play. As the clock continues to roll, about 50 seconds left here in this first half, and Joe's not in much of a rush to get a playoff here. Obviously, you don't want to put the ball in harm's way and give Canisius potentially a chance to score here heading into the locker room. Here is Kosinski, going to keep it himself, and looks like no gain there. So we'll see if they elect to snap it one final time here in this first half for third down. All right, evidently not. That brings us to the end of this first half. It is 7-7 here in the Monsignor Martin semifinals between the St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute Marauders and the Canisius Crusaders, each looking to punch their ticket to the Monsignor Martin Championship game where St. Francis awaits. We'll step aside here, and when we come back, we'll recap that first half and get you all set for the second here of this Monsignor Martin semifinal matchup here from Coyer Field at Buffalo State University between Canisius and St. Joe's here on Western New York Athletics.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. You will get super high level communication, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Wingnuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests, with custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
At WNYAthletics.com. You can link me later.
WNYAthletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated, multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Welcome back here inside the broadcast booth here at Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University, which is playing host today to the Monsignor Martin semifinals. We saw St. Francis defeat Bishop Timon St. Jude 35-0 in the first game of the day, and now they await the winner of this game here between the Canisius Crusaders and the St. Joseph's Marauders. It is 7-7 here at halftime, and pretty uneventful first half. The Marauders got things started off with Stone Rozak, a 25-yard touchdown reception from Braden Manns near the top of the second quarter to make it 7-0, and then right towards the end there, after a big long run by Elijah Kimball, set it up. Amir Hernandez finished off the drive with a 12-yard rushing touchdown to make it 7-7. And Joe, I must say, I was really impressed with the St. Joe's defense in that first half. They did get gashed near the end of the first half by Elijah Kimball, but when you're going up against a player as talented as he is, he's going to get his. But overall, I think they did a good job on both Kimball and Hernandez, not allowing them to get those big chunk runs. Certainly, their run defense has vastly improved from the regular season meeting between these two teams.
And that was really the story of when these teams first met back in the regular season. Tanner, was Hernandez and Kimball combining for 7 rushing touchdowns, and tonight Hernandez only has the 1 score. Kimball had a couple big runs down the near sideline, of course, the one late in the second quarter. But other than that, St. Joe's has applied pressure. A few times Mateo Brusco's had to hurry up his progression when he drops back the pass and had to make the quick throw. St. Joe's, they've done a pretty good job here defensively, and yes, as you said, cleaning up and improving the run defense. That has been the big theme here of the night.
And conversely, for Canisius, obviously they have leaned on that run game all year. They want to get that going, and obviously we saw Elijah Kimball get shaken up on that big, long run, and he did not return. Granted, it was at the end of the first half, but he did not return after that, so I'm sure the Crusaders fans are going to be holding their breaths here until this second half to see if he's back out there. But even if he's not, we know Amir Hernandez is more than capable of shouldering the load. I mentioned he's gone over 100 yards each of the last 3 weeks, so if they need to lean on him, he can definitely be that guy.
And Canisius definitely finding the running game. It was nice to see receivers as well. Connor Gain with a big catch. Jack Cullen with a pair of big plays on the outside, able to sprinkle it up. Some nice diversity in the offensive play. The line has done it pretty solid. They really haven't applied too much pressure, allowed too much pressure to get in Brusco's face. And St. Joe's and Canisius, these teams, so many games, 40 times in the rivalry that it's been decided by 8 points or less. And I think the second half, if you're in the locker room, if you're Craig Krasinski, if you're Mike Corona, you go back to the drawing board. Canisius, keep going with that running game. And St. Joe's, those deep plays, those deep throws that we saw from Braden Manns, those are going to connect. It connected a couple of times, a touchdown catch to Stone Rozak. But St. Joe's keep going back to that as well, and it could lead to some more points here as well.
One thing that I'll be interested to see for Joe's as we move into the second half is, you know, when I spoke to Coach Corona down on the field before the game and I asked him about the rotation thing they have going on at quarterback, he said you'll see both. So I'm intrigued to see when, if at all, they decide to deploy Brandon Keel, because obviously Braden Manns, we saw he was not bashful about trying to stretch the field in that first half. He made no bones about trying to take some of those deep shots. He had the strike to Stone Rozak, so I understand that you want to develop both of those guys and you're high on both those guys, but if you have one that's the hot hand, is it worth even trying to make that swap?
Well, both Braden Mans and Brennan Keel, they're both juniors. Mans has coming into tonight the higher completion percentage, but both quarterbacks, when you have two quarterbacks that are very highly intelligible like those two are, and it gives Mike Corona, as he has said, another option. He wants to see both guys develop, and at times we have seen in the past, sometimes in the NFL especially, when you have two quarterbacks that are able to, they're right there, 1A and 1B, you're able to mix them in, and that's why Coach Corona has been highly confident in both of these guys. And like you just said, it'll be interesting if Keel comes in, when he comes in. And, if you are Mr. Keel on the sideline, you're ready to go. When your number is called, you're ready for the next play. And I'm sure that these guys, they've been studying the playbook every single week, so it won't really be a big concern of who is at quarterback. It's about just executing and getting more touchdowns down the stretch.
No doubt about it, and it's always next man up. And then, of course, the one factor that could end up playing a role in this game, if it continues, is the rain. It's still coming down right now, and there were some moments where it showed to be a problem in that first half. We saw CANISIUS had a fumbled snap on a third down that luckily they were able to fall on, but that could be a big factor, and who's able to manage that better as this game goes on?
Well, I think it'll just come down to just the makeup of the offense. We have seen so far CANISIUS with more of a running attack offensively, which historically works in favor in these types of weather scenarios. But St. Joe's, they can run the ball. They have guys like Owen Kaczynski. You can line him up on the outside. You can give him the ball in the backfield. So that'll be interesting to see if there is any adjustment from either team in terms of the offense. But this rain is really coming down here. And, we saw a couple of slippages last night at Highmark Stadium, too. Could we see that here today at Collier Field?
Got to hold on to the football, especially in a game like this. So I'm sure that'll be a point of emphasis for both of these teams in the locker room for the second half, is ball security, especially with the conditions being as they are. We'll take a timeout here, and when we come back, we'll have second half action on tap here in the Monsignor Martin semifinals between the Canisius Crusaders and the St. Joe's Marauders here on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western.
Wing nuts. You still got to go.
Have you guys tried Room 40 yet?
Looking for the perfect spot to throw your next party? Say hello to Room 40, our private event space at both Wingnuts locations. Maybe you got a birthday, a graduation, anniversary, business event, rehearsal dinner, or even a sports banquet. From intimate get-togethers to rowdy celebrations, Room 40 is built to handle it all and fits up to 60 guests, with custom food and drink packages, flexible setups, legendary Wingnuts hospitality, and all the wings you can handle. If you're planning a celebration or get-together in Buffalo, this is where the party's at. Local vibes, zero stress, all fun. Book Room 40 today and throw a party Buffalo won't forget. Hit the link in our bio or visit wingnutsbuffalo.com/room40 to book now.
All right, well,
I'll go if you go to Wingnuts.
Deal.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNYAthletics. your home for high school sports.
Yes.
At Richmond Vona, we are seriously dedicated to bettering the communities that we serve. You will get super high level communication. We will get you back on your feet, and you are getting a team of dedicated attorneys, paralegals, case managers. At Richmond Vona, if you call us quickly after your accident, we'll help you get it filed for you. We have more team members. We have the best systems and processes, the best technology, and our team members are motivated and incentivized to move our clients' cases along as quickly as possible, but without sacrificing the amount of money we can get our clients. Because at the end of the day, we are not some settlement mill. We are not like some of these TV lawyers who just want to get you the first settlement offer and get you out the door so they can move on to the next. If you put your trust in us and hire us, we promise to take care of everything. Call us as soon as possible so we can start the investigation to fight to get you the settlement you deserve.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back here inside the broadcast booth at Coyer Field on the campus of Buffalo State University. We've got the Monsignor Martin semifinals here. Game 2 of 2. We saw St. Francis punch their ticket to the Monsignor Martin championship game. Now Canisius and St. Joe's trying to do the same, and they are deadlocked at 7 here as we enter the second half. And Joe, we talked about Elijah Kimball in that break there at halftime. He got shaken up toward the end of the first half, but good news for Canisius fans as he was the first one back out on the field here out of the locker room, led the team out, and assuming he's good to go for the second half, he is only 6 yards away from making some history here in the Monsignor Martin Conference.
Yeah, that's right, he is 5 away from tying, 6 from passing Cardinal O'Hara's Reggie Garner for 7th all-time in Western New York. The all-time rushing list, and also the Monsignor Martin all-time record. Reggie Garner from 2004 to 2007 with the O'Hara Hawks, 4,984 yards. So Elijah Kimball, again, just closing in on some history here. Passed Isaiah McDuffie 2 weeks ago for 9th all-time in Western New York. Reggie Gardner is up next. He already passed Aaron Waller from Cleveland Hill earlier tonight. But Elijah Kimball, we've said so much about him over the past couple of years in the Canisius backfield, nearly 40 Division I college offers as well. And again, he is just continuing to climb up the all-time rushing yards list here in Western New York.
He could theoretically move as high as 4th place here today. He needs 77 yards to pass Jeff Tundo to move up into 4th place on the Western New York all-time rushing list. Tundo 5,055 with Orchard Park from 2006 to 2008. So with 77 yards, Kimball could move into 4th place on the Western New York all-time rushing list. And then from there, the next closest is 5,490 yards, Wade Turner of Lackawanna. So he'd have a way to go. Wouldn't be able to hit that mark tonight, but certainly with a year left, he could be approaching the cream of the crop here as far as rushing leaders in Western New York go.
And Jeff Tundo had a big run with the Orchard Park Quakers, was a part of Orchard Park's 2008 state title team in Class AA. Head coach Gene Tundo, Kyle Hoppy at quarterback, Brendan Nussel, the middle linebacker as well. That was such a great OP team. And I mean, there's so many names. And Jehu Colt Creek is still at number 1, 6,559 yards with the climber program from 1999 through 2002. And absolutely, Elijah has certainly done a lot, but I guess we could definitely say that he's focused on getting this win here today to help his team get to the next round next Saturday at noon back here against St. Francis.
Just some more history up for grabs for Elijah Kimball. It's been a season of history for him, a bunch of milestones that he's hit. He surpassed Quadri Olison as the all-time leading touchdown scorer in Canisius program history, as well as all-time leading rusher, and now he could do it in as little as one carry, could become the all-time leading rusher in the history of the Monsignor Martin Athletic Association. As the rain continues to come down here at Coyer Field, we get ready to start the second half. Canisius will receive the opening kickoff of the second half. They ended their last drive of the first half on a good note as Amir Hernandez was able to make good on a long Elijah Kimball run and punch it in from 12 yards out on a jet sweep to tie this game up. After the PAT, now Carter Petrie set to boot it away. Second half action underway of our second half of Monsignor Martin semifinal games here today. It looks like there is a flag down. And it looks like someone was offsides there on the kick. So we'll have to line it up again here. And re-kick in this rivalry matchup here between the Marauders and the Crusaders. The 104th meeting all time between these two teams, spanning back to 1921. It's the 13th time they've met in the postseason, dating back to 2006. As here's Carter Petrie, gets this one away, and it'll take a bounce or two and be fielded inside the 5-yard line. And then the run back solid out to the 29-yard line by Kimball. So good to see that he is no worse for wear. And back out there to start the second half, needing only 6 yards for some history.
And not only just in the Western New York rankings, Tanner, there's so many great names, so many great teams in the Monsignor Martin since that was associated, formed in 1948. So many great teams, Canisius, St. Joe's, Bishop Turner, just so many over the years.
And now the Crusaders have it first down and 10. Here is the give to Kimball, and there it is! Elijah Kimball is going to break this one for 70 yards, but the chase down, not so fast. He gets taken down at the 10-yard line, and a flag comes in. But, hey, that's one way to become the all-time leading rusher in the history of the Monsignor Martin Athletic Association.
Kimball just all the way up the middle, and then a great tackle, great hustle, looked like by number 2, Brendan Thompson Jr. to prevent the score, but yes, congratulations again to Elijah Kimball, now the all-time rushing leader in the Monsignor Martin Athletic Association.
And they're going to get a horse collar tackle, so valiant effort by Brendan Thompson on the chase down, but brought him down with the horse collar. So it's going to be half distance to the goal, first and goal from the 5. So a 60-yard run for Elijah Kimball, and he stays in there as the Wildcat quarterback. Direct snap to Kimball, and Kimball gets to the edge, and he gets in for the touchdown. First time hitting pay dirt for Eli Kimball, but he takes it in for the 5-yard score, and Canisius takes the lead.
Elijah Kimball able to record his 13th rushing score of the season, gets Canisius out in front, adding another touchdown to his name and his career as well. here with the Canisius Crusaders, and that's the start that Canisius was looking for, Tanner, out of the halftime break. We talked about the weather a factor as well, and you keep going with what has been your hot hand all year, the running game, and it proved itself once again to be successful for the Crusaders.
And here is Barr on for the PAT. It is up, and it is good. So that didn't take long. 2 plays, 2 Elijah Kimball touches, and he gets the touchdown to make it 14-7 with 26 seconds into the third quarter. And you look at Elijah Kimball, what he's done in his career against St. Joe's. In the 5 games coming in, 86 carries, 925 yards, 15 touchdowns, averaging about 185 yards per game and 3 touchdowns. I mentioned the performance he had the last time these two teams met, 12 for 254 and 3 touchdowns. He's never had fewer than 143 rushing yards in a game against Joe's. He scored at least 2 touchdowns in every meeting against Joe's, including at least 3 in each of the last 4 meetings. And now he's starting to find that groove, which, if you're a Joe's fan, is not good.
I mean, that's just incredible, and that's also his 63rd career rushing score with Canisius. He has done a lot, to say the least, for Canisius. But as he will tell you, as I've got a chance to talk with him too a couple of times, Tanner, he gives all his credits to his teammates, including his offensive line, for creating all of those spaces that he's been able to score and get those big plays over the years.
So that one booted out of the back of the end zone there by Barr. And we will see this Joe's offense for their first possession of the second half. And Braden Mann still out there. That was a question we were looking at coming into this second half. Obviously, Braden Manns did some nice things in that first half, but we were told that we would see some of Brandon Keel, but not yet, as Manns still the signal caller as we start the second half.
Manns had a few big plays in the first half. That touchdown pass to Stone Rozak especially.
Handoff on first down to Owen Kaczynski. And it'll be a short pickup, gained about 2, makes it second down and 8. Man's in the shotgun, flanked by Kaczynski to the left. Here's the snap, the give to Kaczynski up the middle. He was able to squirt through a tight hole and create a couple extra yards there out of nowhere. So it'll bring up third down and about 5 here. As there is a man down for Canisius, it's Richard Posey. He is laid out on his stomach here, being tended to by the Canisius training staff. So while they tend to Richard Posey, we'll step aside. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back here, third quarter of this Monsignor Martin semifinal matchup between Canisius and St. Joe's. And right now things have ground to a halt as they tend to an injured Crusader, Richard Posey. And Joe, earlier, after Kimball's touchdown, you mentioned the selflessness of Elijah Kimball. He was one of the first people over there to check up on Posey and make sure he was okay, and now Posey able to pop up and walk off the field under his own power, which is good. As we mentioned early on in the broadcast, talking with Coach K, there without 9 players that they did have dressed for the regular season meeting between these two teams, including 5 starters for various reasons, injury, suspension, academic probation. So you hate to see another player go down here for the Crusaders.
And that's another example of Kimball and now a bunch of his teammates, of Posey's teammates, checking in on him. That's just the brotherhood that Craig Krasinski wanted to establish. He had that in place certainly at Williamsville South, and when he was brought in, it's also Craig's alma mater coming back, coaching this group, and that's what it's all about, making sure that everyone is supporting each other.
Third down, here is Mans. He's going to tuck it and run, and now Braden Mans lowers the shoulder, and he is going to pick up the first down. We saw him convert a 4th down earlier on in that first half using his legs, and he does it again there. CANISIUS gotten burned a few times here in this game by the legs of Braden Mans.
And Braden Mans, you can just see the confidence is there with Braden just finding the open space to make those moves. He showed some flashes back in week 2 when I saw him take on Jamestown, and you can just see why Mike Kuroda is happy to have Braden Mans in the mix, just making those nice moves at quarterback.
So a fresh set of downs here. They're going to hand it off to Owen Kaczynski, and he was wrapped up by Quentin Littleton.
Canisius able to stop the run there on that play. They had a lot of success in the first half as well. Quentin Littleton taking on the responsibility of being that middle linebacker, the middle linebacker of the future potentially here with Canisius, and now it sets up a second and long play.
Indeed, as Arno Mbayo, who has been a stalwart in that linebacking core, is a senior. They've been without him much of the year due to injury, but luckily they have quite a find here in Quentin Littleton. 2nd down and 11. Braden Mans directing traffic. And now the flag comes out here as the play clock expired. And that is the 4th penalty of the day on the Marauders, and it'll back them up here 5 for this 2nd down attempt. 2nd and 16. And here is Mans looking to throw. Pressure off the edge from Kimball, and he throws it well over the head of Cheatham there. It's incomplete. 3rd down and 16.
Good pressure from Kimball, and with those type of penalties, a delay of game, that's what we call beating yourselves in these types of games. And that now with that penalty and then the incomplete pass, you're now facing 3rd and 16. You have to try to get a good chunk of this yardage back if you can't get the first down. Obviously, the first down is the main priority here.
And now a timeout is going to be spent by Canisius. We saw them have to spend their timeouts in the first half as well, probably more prematurely than they would have liked, and they have to take one early here. 8:37 left in the 3rd quarter. We'll take a timeout as well. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Back here in the third quarter of this Monsignor Martin semi-final matchup between Canisius and Joes. It is 3rd down and 16. Awaiting Joes. Here's Braden Mans. He lofts this one up into traffic, and it is picked. Second of the day for number 2, Xavier Gates Franklin, and he is going to give the Crusaders a short field here.
Xavier, only a sophomore from Williamsville, New York, 5'10", 160-pound defensive back, and what a way to record your first 2 interceptions of the season. Monsignor Martin semifinal, an unfortunate turnover for St. Joe's. And now Canisius gets the football back right at midfield. St. Joe's has not scored here on their last 3 drives. Since that touchdown, a punt, they ran out of time at the end of the half, and then the interception right there, number 2 for Xavier Gates Franklin.
First 2 picks of the season and the 3rd of his career. Now here's a give to Amir Hernandez, and somehow Hernandez was able to snake his way out of a tackle there and pick up a first down.
Again, just Hernandez able to pop to the outside. It's just incredible to watch him again play in person. 8.7 yards per carry and able to keep the chains moving. Another first down here today for Canisius.
And he gets them inside the Marauder 40-yard line. Brusco in the shotgun. Hernandez to the left. And he'll give it to Hernandez. Little jump cut up the middle there, and Amir Hernandez spun down at the 30-yard line, now more like the 29. That'll make him just short of the line to gain there. 2nd and 1 upcoming. Gates, Franklin, and Cullinan out wide. Brusco hands to Hernandez, and good penetration there by the Marauder defense. And they drop him for a short loss on 2nd down.
Good penetration from Peyton Kieran, number 71, on your screen. Able to cause the pressure, and then a couple of teammates come in for the cleanup. And that's how St. Joe's has thrived here this season, getting that pressure up front, especially from its defensive line. And Kieran right there able to force now no gain, and now a 3rd and 3, a big play. Canisius trying to convert to keep this drive going.
And they're going to have their 2 trusty stallions in the backfield here, Kimball and Hernandez. It's going to be a direct snap to Kimball. He will keep, and Kimball, they walk in right at the marker. We'll see what they say here, and it's going to be a Canisius first down. Now 4 first downs, or excuse me, 4 third down conversions for Canisius in this game, 4 for 7. And a fresh set of downs here for the Crusaders. Brusco checks back in the game, and he will hand it off to Kimball. And he's got good yardage there on first down. Gain of about 5. And 4, they say. 2nd down and 6. Now it's going to be Kimball and Terrence Schuford Jr., the freshman, sharing the backfield for this 2nd down snap. Direct snap to Kimball. He's going to run behind Schuford, and Kimball with a first down tote there.
Just once again, Canisius able to give Kimball the open space as you take a look again. Some great look, great help there. Connor Gain, one of the big buys in front, gained the tight end of the line, helping Kimball as well keep the chains moving forward. And here we are again. Canisius knocking on the door, continuing to drive with that running game.
It'll be first down and 10 from the 14-yard line. Again, it's Kimball and Shuford in the backfield. Direct snap to Kimball. He runs near side. Kimball inside the 10-5, and he is just short. And a flag comes in late. There are multiple flags down. And now Kimball, with what he's been able to do on this drive, on the first drive of the second half here for the Crusaders, had 65 rushing yards, and then that puts him only needing 12 yards to pass Jeff Tundo for 4th place all-time on the Western New York rushing list. So safe to say he's done that on this drive. And just another piece of history there for Elijah Kimball. But now the Crusaders going to be backed up a little bit here after the penalty. I believe now that's the 6th they've had go against them. There's a personal foul, dead ball against Canisius. So they had the ball at the 14-yard line, but now they have it at their own 36. A long way to go here, but a lot of time to dig themselves out of it here as it is first down. Give to Hernandez. Nice jump cut to bounce this one to the outside, and Hernandez going to get a good chunk of the penalty yardage back, but still they'll be playing from behind the chains here on second down. Hernandez going to back inside the 30-yard line to the Marauder 27. Brusco in the shotgun, Gates, Franklin, and Cullinan, the receivers. And now looks like a timeout is going to be spent by Canisius. That's their second. So we'll step aside as well. 5 minutes left here in the third quarter. Canisius leading 14-7, trying to add to it back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Look, Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
At WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNYAthletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Back here in the third quarter, 5 minutes remaining in this Monsignor Martin semifinal. Canisius trying to make it a two-possession game. Brusco puts this one up for grabs. Cullinan brings it in for the touchdown. A 28-yard strike from Mateo Brusco to Jack Cullinan, and there's your two-possession game.
Just a nice deep ball over the middle. We knew it was Cullinan because Brusco kept going towards Cullinan's way the entire night, and Jack Cullinan was able to create some space. He's listed at 6'2", 185-pounder. A big play, middle of the end zone, or the bright lights here at Coyer Field, and Canisius now has that 2-score lead.
And Max Barr will come out to make it a 14-point game. Snap down, kick on the way. It's good. Canisius with back-to-back scores here to open up the third quarter. They made it a 2-possession game here against the Marauders, leading 21-7. Timeout. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
Explore your next idea. Blaze new trails. Imagine new ways to do things. What will you do next?
Welcome back here to Coyer Field. Canisius has just taken a 21-7 lead thanks to a 28-yard receiving touchdown for Jack Cullinan, his first in 3 games. The last game he had a receiving touchdown was against St. Andrews on October the 18th. In that game, 2 catches for 34 yards, 1 touchdown, and he just scored his first touchdown since then moments ago at Coyer Field. And now another man goes down for Canisius. I believe that's number 41, Max Miranda. You got a flag down as well. So we'll check on that. But obviously right now the more pressing concern is the status of Max Miranda. Miranda, the junior, out of Orchard Park. In this game, or on the season, I should say. Came into this one 7 total tackles, as well as a pick. Also a rugby player is Miranda, the junior. And it's going to be a hold against Joe's. So that will back them up. 5th penalty of the day on them. Meanwhile, they continue to tend to Miranda. Moments ago, the junior receiver Jack Cullinan just scored his 3rd touchdown of the season to make it a 2-possession game. Cullinan entering this game 13 receptions, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also a member of the Crusaders basketball team is Jack Cullinan. Appeared in 27 games last year, averaged 5.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal. Almost 46% shooting from the field, 34 from 3. His brother Patrick was a member of the Crusaders basketball team. He's a first-team All-Catholic selection. Senior season, 3rd-team All-Western New York large schools. Named to the New York State Sports Writers Association Class AA 5th team after averaging 14.5 points per game his last year. A lot of athletes in the Cullinan family.
And a lot of multi-sport athletes, too. And that's what Craig Gruzanski said about having Jack in his receiving core, able to use that good frame and really go for those jump balls. And having multi-sport athletes, I know this is a big topic as well, but you hear it all the time from high school coaches and college coaches. They look to see what they ask high school coaches, what other sports does little Bobby or little Susie play, and it all adds up when you get to the college level. Just the agility, the different skills that you can take from different sports, it definitely is a plus, and Jack Cullinan is the latest example of that, as we saw in that touchdown catch.
Miranda up to his feet here. And again, you can see Elijah Kimball out there to check on him and help to escort him over to the sideline. Terrence Shuford over there as well. And Miranda is going to walk gingerly off the field here. We saw earlier in the game, Richard Posey, or earlier in the half, I should say, Richard Posey was shaken up as well. So while Miranda makes his way off the field, the offense and defense will make their way onto the field, and looks like Braden Manns is still out there as the signal caller for Joe's. We were interested to see when they might flip the switch to Brandon Keel, but that moment has not come yet. Manns tossed 2 interceptions in this game, both to Xavier Gates Franklin. But he's going to get at least one more possession here as we're in the late stages of the third quarter. And now Miranda has made his way over to the Canisius sideline, so we're set to resume play here. First down and 10, and there's movement up front, and it is, oh, they don't even know yet.
Well, it'd either be encroachment or offsides. Encroachment against Canisius, or false start, I should say, against St. Joe's.
It is going against the Crusaders. So first down and 5 for the Marauders offense. 3 receivers, 1 back, 1 tight end. Manns. Play fake, and now looking to throw. He escapes, stays on his feet, Braden Manns, and then finally gets tossed down by Terrence Shuford.
Taking a look again, some pressure on the near side. Manns able to escape from it, steps up, and then finally brought down. Canisius disrupting the rhythm here a little bit on that last play for Manns in his progression. We haven't seen that a whole lot here. It's like a good burst from Canisius' defense, but Canisius, they got to get some more plays like that to disrupt Braden Manns.
4-yard loss on the play. It's second down and 9. Manns pointing something out in the defense. Now he takes the snap, short drop, and he's going to be flush to his left. Now he's going to throw, and he finds J.O. Strander. Well, that's why you leave Braden Manns in the game right there. What a play. Rolling to his left, fires it cross body, and finds his man 20 yards downfield.
And St. Joe's once again going to J.O. Strander. Strander had a couple big opportunities back in the first half, just couldn't make those catches. But right here, Jay making the big play, enough for a new first down, Tanner.
And that a nice shot in the arm for the offense there, just what the doctor ordered. First down and 10 from their own 46. Manns fires quick. It is caught by J.O. Strander. And then Amir Hernandez lays into him. He does hold on. So he'll gain about 4 here on this second down, and that puts him right at midfield.
That was a huge tackle from Hernandez, one-on-one scenario. Hernandez able to hit him right before Ostrander was able to trying to make the turn upfield. Probably would have got a good 15 yards on the end of that play, but a big tackle, and Joe's still at midfield.
We talk about Amir Hernandez as a runner, but he is an equally good defensive back. There, they leave some cushion for J.O. Strander, and he makes the catch. He's got another first down. So 3 catches on the drive for J.O. Strander, 2 of those being chain movers.
And this one coming in the slot, able to make that play. Canisius with the double team on the tackle. But yes, as you said it, Tanner, St. Joe's able to find some rhythm here. Manns and Ostrander. Ostrander, one of the veterans here on this team for the Marauders. Another big first down. St. Joe's on the move. Both in the junior campaign for St. Joe's, so they'll likely be back here next year too for head coach Mike Corona.
From the Crusader 35, it is first down and 10. Man sends Ostrander in motion. They give it to him on the jet touch pass. Here goes Ostrander trying to cut it upfield, and he gets taken down there. We'll see where they give him forward progress. He got spun down back at about the 37-yard line, but forward progress will give him a much more favorable spot than that. Looks like they spot it at the 37-yard line of Canisius, so second down and 12. Here's the shotgun snap. Mans. Handoff to Owen Kaczynski, and he is taken down by Caden Wayne. They'll get the lost yardage back from the second down play. Make it 3rd and 9. And Mans looks to the sideline over to Coach Corona to get the play call. 3rd down and 9, a minute left here in this third quarter. Mans fires quick. It is caught at the sticks, trying to make a man miss, staying on his feet. Nicely done there. And able to pick up a first down for the Marauders. Looks like that is Cameron Chin on the catch.
Good catch there from Chin as you watch the replay. Coming into St. Joe's former Lockport Lion on the outside there, and St. Joe's able to keep the chains moving. Another first down. Very impressive drive here late in the third quarter.
And now a flag comes in against the Crusaders. Got them off sides once again here.
St. Joe's currently working on a 4-minute, 8-second drive. Easily their best drive of the evening.
First down and 5 after the penalty. Here's Mans. Pulls it out on the play fake. He fires it to Stone Rozak. It is dropped. And he had blocking set up out in front, so a potential catch and run opportunity there, but it looked like Rozak was thinking about what he was going to do with the ball in his hands, but forgot to secure the ball.
Looks like Rozak just took his eyes off of the football as he was making his way upfield. He saw that the blockers were ready, but the eyes just came off the ball, and now we'll try again.
Second down, give to Kaczynski, and he stays on his feet. Owen Kaczynski is in for the touchdown. 18 yards there for Owen Kaczynski. Nice slippery run.
And you know, I was just about to say, we haven't heard from Owen Kaczynski in a while, and this time he gets the exclamation point on an outstanding drive for the St. Joe's offense. Kaczynski right up the middle, and we have ourselves a game once again here, Tanner.
Indeed we do. 18 yards out, Owen Kaczynski. And now the extra point from Carter Petrie. It is up and it is good. So Joe's cuts it back down to a one-possession game here in the final stages of the third quarter. And that is just the answer that they needed for Joe's. We'll keep it here since we're about to take a break in 20-odd seconds anyhow. But Joe, that definitely, I'd say, is one of the better-looking drives that St. Joe's has had today. We saw some big chunks in the passing game. Braden Mans developing chemistry with Jay Ostrander, and then Kaczynski. He had been quiet, not his best day today, but when the lights are on, big-time players make big-time plays, and that's what Kaczynski did there.
That was a 4-minute, 32-second drive for St. Joe's, able to respond after Canisius' big offensive score. And yeah, you said it. Owen Kaczynski, a quiet day here, but able to make some noise at the right time, scoring his 9th rushing score of the evening. And just a great drive. Jay Ostrander had 3 big plays in a row to keep the drive moving on the outside and a couple big runs. He was really the MVP of that drive for St. Joe's.
Carter Petrie boots this one deep. It is going to be caught by Kimball in the end zone, and it'll be a touchback for Owen Kaczynski. That is his 10th all-purpose touchdown this season, and he's had some great individual performances this year. He had 100 yards, 2 touchdowns against Bishop Timon. St. Jude had another 2 called back in that game, had 165 yards, 3 touchdowns against UPrep, had a touchdown called back in that game as well. He had 2 touchdowns against Bill Crothers. In their Week 2 game against Jamestown, had a career day, 12 carries, 233 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He was a Connolly Cup Player of the Week for that performance in Week 2. And now with 20 seconds left here, Canisius takes the field. Here goes Elijah Kimball. He won't go down, but finally he gets taken down at around the 22-yard line. That should bring us to the end here of the third quarter.
Well, all I could say here, Tanner, is buckle up, get your popcorn ready. It's going to be an exciting finish. 104th all-time meeting. Canisius and Joe's. The winner takes on St. Francis for the Monsignor Martin title next Saturday at noon back here at Buffalo State. Should be a wild finish, to say the least.
You took the words right out of my mouth. That's one of my lines. Get your popcorn ready. So heed mine. My advice and Joe's advice. Get your popcorn ready. We got a good one on hand here in the fourth. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Back here for the start of the fourth quarter here between the Canisius Crusaders and the St. Joseph's Marauders. It is 21-14. St. Joe's has just cut it back down to a one-possession game, but Canisius looking to keep their foot on the gas pedal here. Hernandez, the Wildcat quarterback, he keeps it himself. Here goes Hernandez, and he took a big hit there and gets driven back.
And we also have an injured player for Canisius, as we'll take a look again at the last carry. And a big hit up the middle from the St. Joe's defender. Looks like the lineman is able to walk under his own power here.
Yep, it was number 63, the big tackle, Brock Bildfeld, the junior, listed at 6'7", 315 out of Cottam, Ontario. He previously played for the Essex Ravens. He was named an Ontario Summer Football League All-Star last season, as well as a Windsor and Essex County Secondary School Athletic Association All-Star. And he a big fixture on that Canisius offensive line. Third down, here's Brusco. He is going to throw. That pass is caught by Cullinan. He's been the favorite target of Mateo Brusco here today, has Jack Cullinan. And showing off why right there. Had the touchdown earlier in the game and now has a big chain moving reception to start the fourth quarter.
Good play. Brusco had some time to make the throw to the outside. And you said, Tanner, a pair of players from Ontario and Brusco, as well as Bildfeld. We also have Connor Gain from Houston, Texas. Canisius getting the name out. It's a very impressive brand for the Crusaders.
And here is Eli Kimball on the direct snap, and nice tackle there to prevent him from breaking away. It looked like he was going to have one of those long signature Eli Kimball breakaway runs, but they wrangle him down there. Still able to pick up a first down was Kimball.
Big tackle from David Amuka. He was an all-Western New York thing last year on the defensive side of the ball, and able to limit Kimball, who just finds that open space and just able to go. Just another big burst of speed, and it's another set of downs here, fresh set of downs for Canisius.
So first down and 10 from their own 49. Amir Hernandez, the Wildcat quarterback, takes it on the direct snap, and Hernandez will gain a few there on first down. Looks like he'll make it second down and 4 as he carries it to the Marauder 45. About 9.5 left here in the fourth quarter. And again, Canisius going to stick to what's been working, having their two stalwarts in the backfield here. Hernandez keeps it himself off the direct snap, and he falls forward to the 39. That is a Canisius first down.
As you can see, approaching 3 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter. Canisius once again being methodical here as Hernandez is limping his way to the sideline. Not a good sign if you're a Crusaders fan. But Canisius winding down the clock, getting some big runs with the football and trying to get one big punch here.
Never want to see Hernandez get shaken up, but they truly believe they have 3 number 1 backs between him, Kimball, and Terrence Schufert, as there goes Kimball with another first down carry for the Crusaders. So now, that's the thing with a run game like Canisius. They get better and better as the game goes on. Like, obviously, you don't want to have to line up against those guys for 48 minutes and try and tackle them for a full 48 minutes, especially when it's cold and miserable out there. And now they're starting to impose their will as here goes Kimball. Kimball down to the 5-yard line, dragging defenders. He gets taken down at the 1.
This is going to come back. Holding penalty against Canisius.
Good catch there, Joe. There is indeed a flag in the offensive backfield, and that's going to wipe away a spectacular run there from the junior Kimball. So that'll back him up to the Marauder 36. First and 15. Two backs in the backfield, Schufert Jr. and Kimball. Kimball takes the shotgun snap, and he bounces this one outside. Kimball gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and then some. It'll be about second down and 8.
While we have a moment here, Tanner, this has been an incredible 72-hour stretch of football in Western New York. Western Athletics had a great 2-day stay at Highmark Stadium, the final year at Orchard Park.
As Kimball gets the call on second down on the direct snap.
We have 5 champions the past 2 days at Highmark Stadium. Newfane, Class D, Chautauqua Lake, Westfield, Brockton, Class C, Lackawanna, Class B, McKinley, Class A, and the nightcapper Bennett in Double A last night. A lot of great effort and great work from behind the scenes. A great team at WNYAthletics. So much, not only during the broadcast for the NFHS Network, but also on all of our social media pages. So great work to everyone involved.
Third down, Hernandez direct snap, and he falls forward to the 20-yard line. So looks like he's going to be about a yard short of the first here. And that'll bring up 4th down, but certainly with the way they've been running the ball, especially in this second half here, the offense should be staying out on the field for this one. Although, if my memory serves me correctly, the last time they went for it on 4th down, Peyton Kieran had that big stop on Hernandez for a loss and a turnover on downs. So they're going to need to summon some more of that once again here. A timeout has been called by the Crusaders. I believe that's their 3rd and final. Yep, so last timeout down the hatch for Canisius. We'll take a timeout as well. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics.
For an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs, more information about our Buffalo office is available at logisticsplus.com/Buffalo.
4th down and 1 here. Mateo Brusco checks back in. He is under center. Brusco hands it to Kimball, who goes leaping for the 1st down and gets it.
That's how you get the 1st down, right? If you're Elijah Kimball, let's take a look again. It's a full house at the line of scrimmage, and going airborne is Kimball. He'll get the big lead. Another 1st down.
And you love to see that from your best player. Sets an example for the rest of the group, giving it everything you got here in the postseason, in the semifinals. I'm sure this offense wants to leave the Joe's offense with as little time as possible here. In addition to putting 7 points up on the board, I'm sure they want to do that as well, but also drain this clock here as Hernandez takes it on the direct snap up the middle. Now Hernandez bouncing it out to the far sideline. Now a nice little juke move, and Amir Hernandez is down at the 1. And Joe's came away with it at the end of the play. I believe that's Davion Becker, who's like, I got it, look it, I got it. And Becker still has the ball here, but it is still going to be Canisius ball here. Davion Becker did have a fumble return for a touchdown in the regular season meeting between these two teams. Had about an 80-yard fumble return in that game. Now Quentin Littleton in there at tight end. The two backs in the backfield. Hernandez direct snap, and he plunges in from 1 yard out, touchdown. Back to a 2-possession game here, thanks to Amir Hernandez. Gets his 2nd of the day and his 6th of the season against Joe's to make it 27-14 with the PAT pending.
And that is now 3 drives, 3 touchdowns for the Crusaders out of halftime. Hernandez goes right up the middle. And as you said it, Tanner, Canisius now back with a 2-score lead and now going for the extra point attempt. Good drive, good response for Canisius after St. Joe's had the big score. Canisius swings the pendulum back into its favor.
Max Barr on for the PAT. Nathaniel Lindstrom to hold. Snap down, kick is up, and it's a doink. Barr put it off the bar there. It is no good, so the score remains 27-14 with 5:22 left in the game. We'll take a timeout. Back after this on Western New York Athletics.
Patriot account is not going to close itself. Looks like you're going to be here late again. I need this by morning.
Oh no, not again. My son has a football game tonight.
WNYAthletics.com. You can thank me later.
WNY Athletics, your home for high school sports.
Yes.
Welcome back here to Coyer Field. 5:22 left in the fourth quarter. Canisius has just stretched the lead out to 2 possessions thanks to an Amir Hernandez 1-yard touchdown run to make it 27-14. Max Barr, the junior from Orchard Park, missed the PAT. That was his first missed PAT of the season. He was 22 of 22 before that, including his 3 prior makes tonight before the doink. So the Canisius lead 13 here in the late stages of the fourth.
Amir Hernandez recording a second touchdown of the evening. Now his team leading 13th of the, correction, tied with Elijah Kimball for 13 on the season. It's also Hernandez's 5th multi-score game of the year.
And now Joe's trying to keep it interesting here as the handoff goes to Owen Kaczynski, and a flag is down as Elijah Kimball was trying to run off the field late. So it looks like this is going against Canisius. Too many men. And it is indeed on the Crusaders.
Canisius able to cap off also a drive that lasted over 7 minutes. That last St. Joe score was with 23 seconds left in the third. And then Hernandez at the 5:22 mark of the fourth quarter. That's how you be methodical with the football, get some time off the clock, using a timeout as well, and able to get the big run. Very smart once again from Craig Krasinski and crew.
First down and 5. Mans looking to throw. Fires. That one is incomplete. Looking for Stone Rozak. Looks like those two not exactly on the same page there. Rozak kind of just sat down at 5 yards where Mans threw it as if he was expecting him to break out. So it's incomplete. Second down and 5. And for Amir Hernandez, he now has 7 touchdowns over the last 4 games. He had 6 touchdowns over the first 6 games of the season, and 4 of those 6 were in one game against Joe. So he has really turned it on here the back half of the season. And speaking of a guy who's trying to turn things on here as this game winds down, Owen Kaczynski had a nice touchdown rush earlier, and he's going to move the chains there.
Really nice run from Kaczynski on St. Joe's last drive, the 18-yard scamper.
Oh, no, that is not good. Amir Hernandez is down. And they are working on, it looks like that left arm, shoulder area. Don't want to speculate too much, but that would certainly be a huge loss there if Amir Hernandez went down. This is a guy that we talk about his prowess as a runner, but he can do everything, plays a lot of defense as well. I mean, you look at last year, he was named to the Monsignor Martin Division A All-Catholic team on both sides of the ball, and he was named to the All-Western New York third-team offense and the New York State Sports Writers Association All-State fourth-team offense. In his 30-game career coming into this game, 1,691 total yards, 21 total touchdowns, to go with 161 total tackles, 7 TFLs, a sack, forced fumble, fumble recovery, 11 passes defensed, 7 interceptions. Also a kick return touchdown, averages a career 28.8 yards per kick return. And his career against Joe's as well, his 5-game career coming in. 403 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaging about 80.6 yards per game against the Marauders. So he heads over to the sideline to be evaluated further. And certainly that's something we'll keep an eye on because he is a big part of what they do here at Canisius. Meanwhile, the drive resumes for the Marauders from their own 35-yard line. Braden Mans in the shotgun. He takes the snap, 3-step drop. Now he's going to heave this one deep, looking for Ostrander. Ostrander almost brought it in between two defenders there, Xavier Gates Franklin and Jason Love. Gates Franklin couldn't get a hand on it, but maybe it affected the vision there of Ostrander as he was unable to reel that one in.
Yeah, that pass got a little lost in the wind here, and Ostrander tried to come back to the football and the ball landing right in between two defenders here, and this will bring up second down. But I will say again here, regardless of the outcome, still a lot of time left. Braden Mans has really impressed me here, only a junior, and he's really taken the reins as this quarterback for St. Joe's.
And he's going to hand it off to Owen Kaczynski here, and he'll pick up a short gain. But for Braden Mans, he has been very solid today, and he was good the last time these two teams played. He had 2 touchdowns. He played the second half in the regular season meeting. Brandon Keel started the game. Mans finished. He had 2 passing touchdowns in that game, both of which went to Cameron Chin. Now it is 3rd down and 9. Mans, and flag comes down. I believe they are going to get Dion Cheatham for a false start over there along the far sideline. He got a bit of a jump there on the snap. Dion Cheatham, I should say. So false start against the Marauders. That puts them behind the chains here. Makes it 3rd down and long. And now Owen Kaczynski going to move into the slot near side as J.O. Strander goes over to the slot far side. Now Stone Rozak comes over to the left side of the offensive formation. Here's the snap. Mans looking, and he's going to loft this one. Looking for J.O. Strander. It's incomplete. It was tight coverage from Terrence Shuford, but Ostrander had the chance to make a play there and was unable to do so.
Terrence Shuford Jr., only a freshman. He has been a mainstay for Canisius in the defense and able to put out the hand to knock down the pass, and that now causes St. Joe's season on the line. Offense still out there on 4th and 14.
And Amir Hernandez is back out there for Canisius, so good to see that he is no worse for wear and back out there. The lone safety over the top is Hernandez. And before this play can get going, it is whistled dead, as it's going to be a false start against Joe's. That was the last thing they needed there, but they're going to be backing up a further 5 yards here. So 4th down and long, trying to keep their season alive. Braden Mans drops back, and he is going to heave this one deep, looking for J.O. Strander, trying to come back to the football, and he almost made the catch in between 2 defenders, between Jason Love and Xavier Gates Franklin, but unable to hang on, and that would have been a very tough catch to make there, but he is unable to do so. It's a turnover on downs, and Canisius looking to put the finishing touches on this thing, up 27-14 in the late stages of the 4th.
Just a tight play, and who else? Xavier Gates Franklin was in there on the coverage for Canisius, and now the Crusaders will have the football and take over just over 3 minutes left.
And trying to put a bow on this one here, dating back to 2006, these two teams have met 13 times in the postseason, including 4 times in the championship game, as Mateo Brusco in the shotgun here on 1st down. Jason Love in motion across the formation. The give to Kimball, and here goes Kimball turning on the Jets. Kimball into the end zone for the touchdown, and that is your dagger. 27-yard touchdown run for Elijah Kimball. That makes it 33-14 with the PAT pending.
Big run for Kimball and able to, as you said it, Tanner, put the icing on the cake. And Canisius, what a response after trailing early 7-0, able to strike here, able to tack on some more points, 14 in the third quarter, and especially that really got this run going. And now Canisius and the Crusaders off to take on St. Francis next Saturday in the Monsignor Martin Championship, a highly anticipated rematch next Saturday at noon.
They're going to keep the offense on the field. Kimball pitches it back to Jack Cullinan, and now Cullinan adds to a nice day. Got a handful of catches, has a long touchdown, and now he's got a 2-point conversion there. So Coach K, Craig Kurzanski, reaching deep in the book or in the bag of tricks there for the 2-point conversion. That makes it 35-14. And as I was alluding to there just moments ago, dating back to 06, these two teams have met 13 times in the postseason, including 4 in the championship game. Canisius holds the advantage 10-3 in those games, including 4-0 in championship game meetings. They have won the last 8 postseason meetings between the two teams, dating back to 2013. In the last 8 postseason meetings between the two, Canisius has outscored Joe's 211-55. In the last 4 meetings in the semifinals specifically, Canisius has outscored Joe's 109-6, including shutting them out in each of the last 3 semifinal meetings before tonight.
That's really impressive of just going back of Canisius and St. Joe. So many players that have played in this rivalry, and Elijah Kimball scoring his 2nd touchdown tonight, able to record here his 5th multi-score game of the year and his 1st since he had 3 against Bishop Timon back in week 5.
And Max Barr set to boot this one away, and it is going to go over the head of everyone into the end zone for the touchback. As far as the series at large, Canisius now will move to 53-48-3, assuming this result holds. They took the series lead for the first time since 1986 back in November 2023. They defeated Joe's in the Monsignor Martin semifinals that season. And now Canisius will have won 23 of the last 24 meetings between the two teams, including being the winners of the last 13 straight, including last year's Monsignor Martin semifinals. As still looks like Braden Manns is in there at quarterback, so they are going to ride him until the wheels fall off. Here goes the give to Owen Kaczynski. He's up past the 25-yard line. But the now 13-game win streak that the Crusaders are currently enjoying, it is their longest winning streak in series history. Their previous longest saw them win 10 straight from 2012 to 2018. Joe's holds the record for the longest win streak in series history, 17 straight from 1983 to 1998. As that one is thrown deep and incomplete. Looking for Cameron Chin. The pendulum clearly in this series has swung Canisius' way, but it wasn't always that way. Between 1983 and 2006, Joe's won 25 of the 27 games played in that span.
Definitely a lot of big moments. St. Joe's with that big run that you just said. A generation of fans remembering about when the Marauders had those big victories, and Canisius, now it's been their time, but, you know, things don't always last forever, right? It could be, you know, next year at this time, St. Joe's with the big wins against Canisius.
To quote Axl Rose in Guns N' Roses, nothing lasts forever, even cold November rain, which that here has luckily subsided for the most part. Here's Braden Manns. He's looking to throw, and now he is flushed out to his left, pressured by Oliveira, and he's just going to tuck it and run, and Braden Manns got taken down there out of bounds kind of late, and now a flag just came in along the sideline. And they are going to get the Crusader defense with a personal foul there. I believe that's their 10th penalty now of the night, so it's always nice to win, but I'm sure for Coach Kurzanski, he's not going to be complacent. He's always going to find things to improve on and get better, and certainly this one area where Canisius can clean things up as they head into next week is the penalty situation. But with 2 minutes left here, they are well on their way to making it back to the Monsignor Martin Championship once again. Here is Braden Manns in the shotgun. He is looking to throw. No, it's incomplete. A little too far out in front of Cameron Chin, who had a step on Xavier Gates Franklin, who's been one of the players of the game for this Crusader squad. But for Coach Kursanski, this is his second stint coaching here at Canisius. He coached here from 2001 to 2003, which saw one Monsignor Martin Association Large School Championship game berth, and then he was named the head coach once again on December 14th, 2021. And with tonight's result, he now has a record of 25-19 since taking over in December 2021 for the Crusaders. Here's Braden Manns. Look, gang, now he is flushed out to his right. Man's going to throw on the move. It is caught along the far sideline and then going down there. That'll get him to 3rd down and short. But going back to Coach K, since returning as the head coach of the Crusaders, has a record of 3-0 in the Monsignor Martin semifinals, 4-3 in the Monsignor Martin playoffs overall. As here is Manns. Once again, he's going to be fleshed out to his right and tried to throw on the move there, but that one is batted back in his face. He was looking for Stone Rozak in the flat.
It's really been a combination of why Canisius has got here with Coach Kurzanski. We've talked about the offense and Kimball and Hernandez, and also the offensive line and what they've been able to do. But then you also throw in the defense and able to hold St. Joe's here to 14 points, scoreless at the end of the first quarter. And, Canisius, they're starting to find their pieces at the right time. They had 2 weeks to get away from the emotions of losing to St. Francis 2 weeks ago, and they bounce back. They do their homework. They get the preparation as Joe's able to get to the outside here late. But Canisius now, you get another opportunity, you get to retake the test, right? When you're in school, you get that opportunity, and here it is, getting to set up a big chance next Saturday at noon here at Buffalo State against St. Francis. It's been a cohesive unit for Canisius, and to get to this point, another big victory here today.
Davion Becker with the big carry there on 4th down to give the Marauders a fresh set of downs here, as they are certainly not going to go down without a fight. Again, it is Davion Becker. He bounces this one to the outside once again and looks like he was able to shrug off the tackle attempt of Terrence Shuford and pick up a nice gain there on 1st down. And Shuford is a little slow to get up, but he makes his way back to his feet there as we have about 30 seconds left. And I just sung the praises of Coach K, but we also want to shout out Coach Mike Corona as well. He was hired to be the head coach in February 2020, just the 6th head coach for Joe's since 1960. As Manns pulls this one out and throws, it is incomplete. Cullinan in coverage there. But for Coach Corona, there were some growing pains after he took over. He went 2-10 combined over his first 2 seasons. There were some Joe's fans that were giving him a hard time during the rebuild process, but now they are starting to see the fruits of his process as he's gone 20-16, well, 20-17 now with today's result over the last 3 seasons. But still, they are left chasing that illustrious Monsignor Martin championship that they have not had since they defeated St. Francis 49-20 in the championship game in 2010. 3rd down, Manns calls his own number and runs in to a Crusader sandwich right there between Oliveira and Quentin Littleton. And now the Crusaders getting the celebration started down there on the field as the clock is going to wind down, and that will do it. The Canisius Crusaders have defeated the St. Joseph's Collegiate Institute Marauders here for the 2nd time in the last 2 years here in the postseason as they punch their ticket for what will be a much-anticipated rematch against the St. Francis Red Raiders next week. And Joe, you saw the regular season finale between these two teams, so you know what it's going to be like. Just give us a little preview here of what we can expect as we look forward to next week now that the two contendants for the Monsignor Martin Championship game are known.
Well, that's right. I mean, huge win tonight here for Canisius, and they were able to go head-to-head with St. Francis and the Red Raiders. The Red Raiders are able to have that running attack as well. We saw Tyrone Clark, we saw Trent Buttles, and it's going to come down to which defense is going to have the big plays. And it's going to be a game that is going to feature a lot of Connolly Cup finalists, and you can catch tomorrow night on our Western New York Athletics YouTube page at 7 p.m. We will reveal the Connolly Cup top 10 list. You'll want to check that out. The regular crew will name those names again Sunday at 7 p.m. And absolutely, Tanner, it's going to be a big game here next Saturday at noon at Buffalo State. Canisius, St. Francis, both teams travel well. And as we were talking about Mike Corona, every year that he has taken over at St. Joe's, the number of players have gone up in the program, and St. Joe's is definitely on the rise. Had a couple of big plays early on, but Canisius able to close it out here with 4 drives in the second half, all touchdowns, and they're going to come away here with the victory and move on to next Saturday.
1 second left on the clock here. Looks like Joe is determined to not go down without a fight here. They are going to fight with every last second they have left on the clock here. And this last second merely a formality at this point, but St. Joe's, they will finish the season with a 5-4 record. Meanwhile, Canisius moves to 6-4 and into the Monsignor Martin Championship game next week. For Joe's, this will snap the 3-game win streak they came into this game with. Coach Corona said the big reason for that turnaround was they finally got healthy, got a lot of guys back. But unfortunately today, not enough, as Canisius now are the victors in 23 of the last 24 meetings, including winners of the last 13 straight. And one final play here to put a bow on this thing. The handoff goes to Davion Becker, and Becker is taken down short, and that does it. The Canisius Crusaders will face off against the St. Francis Red Raiders next weekend here at Buffalo State University for the Monsignor Martin Championship. Joe Kraus, my color man, final thoughts from you before we wrap this thing up here.
Well, what a second half for Canisius. As we said, they scored on all 4 of their drives. They also shut out St. Joe's 14-0 in the fourth quarter, and the number of the game was the number 2. 2 touchdowns for Elijah Kimball, 2 for Amir Hernandez, 2 interceptions for Xavier Gates Franklin. And now Canisius going back to the title game next Saturday here at Buffalo State against St. Francis. And, it's going to be interesting to see who they announce tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for the Connolly Cup Top 10. I imagine we'll see some names that we saw here today the entire day of the 2 games here, the Monsignor Martin. But it's going to be really exciting next Saturday here at Buffalo State.
Certainly a lot of great talent we saw take this field today. Eli Kimball, Amir Hernandez, Trent Buttles, Mason Anderson. I mean, the list goes on and on. Just a lot of talent here in Western New York as far as the gridiron is concerned. That's going to do it for us. For everybody in our broadcast crew, including our camera operator, Russ Battaglia, our on-site technical producer, Francis Beck, and my color man, Joe Kraus, this is Tanner Saunders saying thank you for listening to this presentation here of the Monsignor Martin semifinals. The Canisius Crusaders, the victors 35-14. We'll see you next time here on Western New York Athletics.